Evening all, welcome back to EVE Online. Rant mode engaged. I cannot believe what CCP have done to Titans. They've turned them into absolute piles of jibber jabber wish wash. It's like, alright, let's structure an argument here. So when I left when I left the game last, which was what, 2011, Titans were, let's just say they were the anthropomorphic personification of smallpox. Now you may think that's well, that sounds a bit crap. Well, they killed more human beings than anything ever. And they were really, really powerful. So much like inhaling and huffing a great big wodge of smallpox, if you do that, you're dead. So you used to come across a Titan, you're dead. Now, there was a caveat with that. If you came across a solo Titan ratting, then quite frankly, he deserved everything he got. So my issues with the Titan are that there's a lot of them now. The price of them has dropped, so I can't really economically produce them anymore. That's nice. So basically, they're just not worth anything. I think the first Titan I built to sell, this was not the first one to fly, but the first one to sell, I think I sold it to Cribber. I actually sold him a Titan. His avatar he flies now is one I built. He was supposed to buy it from Bob, but we booed Bob's Titan yards up, lol. So yeah, I actually sold him my one because he's kind of a nice guy, and I kind of didn't want to be a douche, so I sold him. Anyway, I made a fortune out of that. Built it for 35 bill, sold it for 150 bill, something like that. It was ridiculous. So, and then the market carried on. It's dead. The Titan market is utterly dead. What is the point of Titans anymore? They just don't seem to have any point whatsoever. It's almost as if the best thing to do with Titans is make them so you can dock them, make them so they're just basically big command ships, and then just reduce the price of them or something, because they just seem completely pointless. They can't do anything. They can't, other than bridging, which I guess has strategic purpose. Okay, I'm going to acknowledge that. But I guess what I'm trying to get to is the cool element of owning a freaking Titan has gone. Now they feel such a flipping burden. And I just, you lose a character to it. Usually it's a high skill point character that probably could do other things. Yes, you could specialize. I guess you could. I even have 3 Titan pilots, so I do shift my Titans around. But to get the most out of it in terms of combat, you probably want to be using your best skill point character. So this is, I don't know, they feel completely pointless now. I always remember the original guiding principles of the Titan was it was going to be a mobile base for an alliance. So and they never got that right. The whole clone bay, corporation bay, fleet hangar, all of that bollocks never really worked. It always felt a little bit stale, a little bit kind of pointless. So my biggest kind of concern with these ships is, they originally had no real role other than a status symbol. That's really actually why they were made. I remember sitting at a fan fest with a developer who was almost completely rotund and round. Basically, if he fell over, he wouldn't have fallen so much as rolled. And he's a lovely guy though, and he basically said, yeah, Titans just are like a status thing. And he said, completely unabashed to me, that it's unlikely we'll ever see more than, say, 10 Titans in the history of the game. Oh my god, did he get that wrong. So it's things like this that really, get me a bit annoyed, that the whole point of Titans seemed to have completely gone. They only can Doomsday capitals. I guess they always did that, but why not have them Doomsday structures? Maybe do that. That sounds like quite useful use of their time. So, I'm sat here with with this very expensive coffin wrapped around me. It's a rather large coffin as well. And there's nothing really to do with it. Yes, I'm sure everyone's going to say, can I have the Titan? The answer is no. But I think this is the sad part of I guess the way the game's evolved. They changed a lot of the animations, and we'll show a Doomsday in just a moment. I actually Doomsday something in just one moment, and it was it's kind of interesting to see. But look, I mean, my fit on this thing is from 2011 as well. It's asking for trouble. I haven't fit it properly. I'm sure it's going to end badly for me, but I think part of me is just completely lost to the fact that I don't understand what Titans are for. So post in the comments, tell me what on earth these ships are. It just feels like it's almost if we've got 200 Titans, we could drop that in a round, and with 10 million hit points per one, probably a bit less, but either way, millions and millions of hit points, you have to wonder what the flipping blime is the point of them. The Doomsday effect, what's that? This piece of yellow cable coming out of me. It looks like I'm urinating on that. What's the point of it? It just looks ridiculous. ridiculous. So yeah, not a fan. Not a fan at all. Really quite surprised they seem to have changed some of these things. Everyone keeps telling me about the GTFO module. Yep, that's cool. Like that. Very cool. But what's the point of Titans? What is the point of them anymore? They're not really special anymore. They don't seem to hold any fear anymore. I guess if a load of Titans warp in, it's not really that they win the fight by superior domination. They win the fight because the other team are so bored of having to shoot through millions and millions of hit points. It's almost as if you're boring the opposition to death. And actually, now I come to think of it, that seems to be the EVE Online way. It is almost boring your opponent to absolute submission so they give up. And that just is absolutely ludicrous to me. That makes no sense at all. So, there we go, rant over. It's just such a strange thing. So, you know, we're messing about in test server, we're messing about with Athanors at the moment, as you saw. So I decided to go and reinforce Josh's one while he was offline because, hey, I'm a douche. And I think this is really the only thing they seem to be used for now is kind of, I don't know, paperweights. Post in the comments, let me know what I'm missing. I've got to admit, the one thing that has actually impressed me, so, you know, when I played EVE originally, Titans were the one thing that actually was interesting to me. I like the thought of these huge ships. I remember reading a short story from the EVE Online website, which basically said that one of the original Titans that I think it was the Amar created, was so big. I mean, it's bigger than these things, whatever these are. These are like some kind of, you know, further iteration, but it was so big, it was basically the size of a small moon. And it actually caused, you know, millions of people to die when this Titan flew too close, and its gravitational influence affected a local moon in the system of Amar. I'll have to find that story because it's actually pretty cool, and the whole imagery around that was wonderful. That you could imagine this ship was so huge. Like Valerian, that station in Valerian in the City of 1,000 films that didn't work. This really cool kind of concept, and that is sci-fi, and I mean, that's what I crave. I crave things that seem otherworldly and wonderful and amazing and huge and big and amazing. And I think this, you know, Titans now feel really pointless. Like, it used to be if you had a Titan, it was almost a ticket into an alliance. Now it's like, yeah, you got a Titan, so what? I've got an Apocalypse. Want a duel? And it just feels completely pointless. So it's quite sad. As I've been playing and testing and experimenting, I've got to admit, I'm just not seeing the point of having Titans anymore. So please, someone guide me and direct me in the right direction. What is the flipping point of owning a Titan nowadays? Because it does feel as if they are rather useless. Post in the comments, let me know. We have a Discord. I'm just going to keep advertising that. Discord. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.